And now, without further ado, I'm so excited to introduce our moderator for today's event, Sarah Kustok. Sarah Kustok, YES's lead Brooklyn Nets team analyst, holds the distinction as first female solo analyst for an NBA team, along with becoming the first woman to win a New York Emmy as sports analyst. Kustok serves as an NBA and college basketball analyst on Fox Sports, as well as a sideline reporter for the NFL on Fox. She's a studio host for CBS Sports We Need to Talk, along with being a weekly analyst for Sirius XM NBA Radio. At DePaul, Kustok was a three-time captain on the DePaul Blue Demons basketball team and currently ranks fourth in career three-point field goal percentage. During her junior season, she led the country in the three-point field goal percentage, marking the third highest single-season percentage in program history. Kustok was inducted in the Chicago Sports Hall of Fame in 2012 and inducted into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2021. She earned her master's in corporate and multicultural communication from DePaul in 2010. So without further ado, Sarah, I will turn it over to you.
Emily, thank you so much. Let me say first, I am thrilled to be here and have an opportunity to join all of you this afternoon, and in particular, just my DePaul family. And I think all of you who know this and see me come back, whether it's calling games or whether it's just being around the community. I don't just say this to say this, DePaul is my family. It has been such an integral part of who I am today, where I am today. Not only my career and professional life, but also just who I am as a person and what it taught me about just taking the next steps throughout the course of life. And so I am thankful for every single one of all of you. And this is just a really, really special time for me to be able to come back. So thank you for joining us. And without further ado, we are going to get into the nitty gritty of what's we had to look forward to for this upcoming basketball season. Of course, I'm very excited for it. We'll get to Coach Tony Stubblefield, the men's basketball coach, Coach Doug Bruno, the women's basketball coach, and of course, DeWayne Peevy, who we have been thrilled to welcome in to this DePaul University family. Hired in August 2020 after spending 11 years at the University of Kentucky. And DeWayne, just give us a lay of the land first of your excitement for not only the upcoming basketball season, but everything involved with DePaul Athletics at this point.
Well, thanks, Sarah. Great to have you on, part of the DePaul family. We got to meet in this virtual setting for the first time. And so I'm glad I got to finally meet you in person at a game, but it's been exciting. I can't believe that I've already been here over a year now, but a chance to really evaluate the great things that are going on at DePaul University and add to that and, be that anchor leg. And it's been great and exciting to get to this point. We're ready to actually start a basketball season with Blue Demon Nation in front of us and our fans and our parents, getting to see the student athletes get excited about it. And I'm really, really jazzed up for that. We have our fan day. Actually, we're getting ready to enjoy that this weekend. And so from Saturday, come join us from 10 to 1. We have men's basketball open practice at 10. We have an autograph session with both teams at 11. And then we finish up with women's basketball open practice at noon. And so come and join us. It's Alumni Family Weekend. Even if you're not here or alum, it's a great opportunity for all our fans to come see our teams compete. I know that you've been wondering what we look like. You know, the buzz of COVID and the quarantines and all that. You haven't had a chance to be out here. You haven't had a chance to be on campus. And that's the greatest thing, is we're just getting excited and ready to get our students to our games. We got 2 freshman classes on campus that have never been out to Wintrust Arena. Now our women's team is out there for every game too. And Coach Stubblefield will be his first season there, along with mine, with fans. And so what else is there to be excited about? Because basketball is around the corner. Our fall team just got off to great starts. Our volleyball, men and women's soccer, all at 500 or better in the Big East and have big weekends coming up. We have a women's soccer game today at 3. And this is just what I came here for, Sarah. Last year I got the chance to just sit in my office and maybe watch something virtual, never got to travel with the team, never met many parents. And now we got a campus full of vibrant energy of these students. And I can't wait to contribute to that and get basketball season going as well.
We're thrilled. I'm thrilled to have you here, already making a significant impact. So again, just we all, as I'll speak for the alums, appreciate everything that you're doing to continue to push DePaul Athletics forward. And for someone, I know we have some newcomers here to DePaul Athletics. We have someone who's been around for a bit. Coach Bruno, I don't want to age you, But it is amazing to think that you're starting your 36th season as the head coach of the women's basketball team. Time to start a new streak. I know missing out on the NCAA tournament last year, but to think about the fact that your group had went to 18 consecutive NCAA tournaments. That is the elite of the elite. Playing for you, I know I've said it to you, I've said it publicly, I'll say it again. You are one of the most instrumental people in helping us to become the women we are, the people we are, and how much you teach us about levels of competition. And the fact that DePaul University and DePaul women's basketball continues to be part of the gold standard of women's basketball across the country makes me so proud. And it makes me so proud every time I can say that I played at DePaul, and so much of that is because of the foundation that you laid. I know you will always defer to your coaching staff, to your former players, things of that nature, but it all starts with you and your leadership. So without any further ado, we are excited for what you have with this group this season. Tell us a little bit more. Coach, you're on mute. We wish we could have done that at practices probably sometime, is have a mute button for you. I could say that now. I couldn't say that then.
That's okay, Sarah. So I was saying this to the panel before we started, but Sarah is a very accomplished Emmy Award-winning announcer, but was just one of the toughest players we've ever had play at DePaul University. And she's also one of the best captains I've ever been blessed to have as a leader of our squad, Sarah. So thanks for all that you've done for our program, and you represent the so many women that have come before that have laid the foundation for us to have the success we have. We wouldn't be here without the foundation of those many great alums that have helped build this program. But this year's season, we're very excited about because we returned the entire starting lineup, and we did not play well down the stretch last year. And I'll take the blame for that. I think maybe I didn't coach the team COVID correctly. Maybe I pushed a little bit too hard, and I wore our team out. So we were a little exhausted at the end of the year. But we have our entire team returning, and at one point last year we were 12-2. We had basically a 12-game winning streak. We won 4, lost to UConn, won 4, lost to UConn, won 4. So this is a great group coming back, led by our seniors. Deja Church and Deba Kelja are 2 seniors that could have gone on their merry ways and are returning as 5th years. And Sonia Morris and Lexi Held were both all Big East players last year. And Jory Allen's another starter in our rotation here, a transfer from Indiana. Her dad, Jeff Allen, is and her uncle, Brett Burkholder, both played here at DePaul. So it's a special starting lineup coming back, but there's more to talk about, and I'll probably talk about some of those other players a little bit down the line here. But we're very excited when you return this, a group like the group that's returning.
We're certainly excited for it, Coach. And we will dig into that a little bit more. The newer face that we're so thrilled to have here, Coach Stubbs. It is awesome to see you wearing a DePaul sweatshirt, have you on our side. For those who don't know, you had spent the last 11 years at Oregon, 10 postseason appearances, 8 of those NCAA tournament appearance. Make sure I get this right: a Final Four, an Elite 8, and 3 Sweet 16s, regarded as one of the best recruiters in the country. So I know we're all just so excited, not only to have you here, but to continue to watch what this DePaul men's program becomes. So welcome, first and foremost, and tell us a little bit about this group and what we have to look forward to this season.
Well, I appreciate that, Sarah. I'm very, very excited to be here at DePaul. I want to thank DeWayne Peevy for this opportunity, and it's been great. I hit the ground running when I got this opportunity in April, and the last 6 or 7 months has really been a whirlwind between retaining some of the guys from the previous team, hitting the road, recruiting as much as we possibly could, and then practicing for the last 2 or 3 weeks. The guys have been working extremely hard, practicing with great energy, and just been really pleased with where we are as a program. Obviously, we got to keep progressing and continue to work hard. Obviously, the Big East is a great league. We got a great non-conference schedule that we have to get prepared for. But, the guys have been working really, really well, been recruiting really hard. We had a little downtime with no practices, and just looking forward to rebuilding this program.
Yeah, you mentioned that a little bit, but just getting into your process of re-recruiting some players and filling out your roster and all the things that go into coming to a new place and then being a head coach. What was that like for you, and some of the challenges and some of the parts that you really enjoyed?
Well, it was a little difficult because, again, taking the job over with the COVID, so it didn't give me an opportunity to see a lot of these young men or their families when I first got the job. So I was doing a lot via Zoom, over the phone, and not really getting the chance to have a lot of face-to-face interaction with these young men or their families or the coaches or AAU coaches who was involved with their recruiting. But the guys were great. The guys that we have coming back, Javon Freeman, Liberty, Nick and Jende, David Jones, they were really good to work with. They've been great over the course of the spring and the summer and right now here in the fall. But really, trying to retain some of those guys, hitting the road recruiting, again, doing a lot virtual, a lot via Zoom, because we weren't able to go out on the road until the latter part of June and then a little bit in July. But there was still work that had to be done between April and June to try to build a roster the best we could, and kind of digging in the transfer portal, looking for the best players that were still available. So that was the biggest thing when I got the job, was just putting the best team that we could put possibly together for this year and retaining the guys that wanted to be here.
Coach, we're going to dig into a little bit more about your roster, about your guys' practices. Same with you, Coach Bruno, but also you had to put together your team and your coaching staff, which I'm sure wasn't easy. Your assistant coaches are from all over the country. Tell us a little bit about how that went and the interest to have them join you here at DePaul.
Well, as an assistant, you always have guys in mind that you would like to hire when you get a job. And again, that varies depending on where you get a job and what part of the country. So again, I want to put the best staff together that would help develop these young men on and off the floor. And I think we've done a great job of doing that. Paris Parham is from Chicago originally, was a high school coach in the city of Chicago, worked at the University of Illinois, Illinois State, most recently at Wisconsin-Milwaukee before he joined our staff here at DePaul. But he's got a great feel for the city, recruiting in-state, the suburbs, the city of Chicago. So that was very important for me to get a guy that really knew the city of Chicago. Steve Thomas, that came from the University of Richmond, was with me at Oregon for 2 years. So, I had a great familiarity with Steve. He left Oregon to go to Virginia Tech with Buzz Williams and then went on to Richmond, where he's had good success at Richmond. So I had a prior relationship with him. And Bino Ranson, that came from the University of Maryland, where he was there for 11 years. And we were able to get him away from Maryland, where they had done a great job in the ACC. So I think it's some guys that really complement each other well. Some guys that can help us from a recruiting standpoint in the Big East, recruiting the East Coast, the New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York area, the DC, Baltimore area, as well as, covering our backyard here in Chicago. So I think we put a great staff together.
Yeah, I think we all know how important the entire staff is and how much that makes a difference in working towards success. Coach Bruno, I know you mentioned this when you were talking about the introduction of the team, but you have all starters back, the key reserves back. I'm curious, not only the impact you see that continuity having, but also, is this the first time that's happened with you? Have you ever had, whether it's the top 7, top 8 or so, back returning for a season again?
Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
I really don't recall having this many back. And Sarah, we talked about the starters returning, but our most improved player is Darian Rogers. Darian came here as a very highly touted freshman last year. She had a really solid freshman year, but I think she's really going to have a breakout sophomore year here. So we're excited about Darian coming back as well. And she's a starter in my mind's eye. We don't know yet who's going to start this year, even though 5 starters are returning. We are 8 deep. Kiara Collier is a transfer from Drake, and we don't yet know if she's going to be eligible or not eligible. So I probably, that's still pending NCAA, a transfer waiver that's in the works right now. But she will bring a great energy to us. She was on the Drake team that beat us in the NIT, the best player on the floor for Drake, and so that will be a key returner or a key newcomer. But Anissa Morrow is a freshman that, you don't hear me talk much about the freshmen. I usually wait and let their games speak for themselves. But Anissa here does remind me of Diana Vines, who was one of the DePaul's great players in South Shore High School. She reminds me of when Coach Ray, was able to recruit Joey Meyer, were able to recruit Mark Aguirre. I mean, this is a Chicago basketball player from Simeon High School. Her mother, Nafisa, played at Harlan High School. Her mother and her dad, both played in Nebraska. Her dad played football for Tom Osborne. Her mom played a basketball at Nebraska. This is a really special freshman. And, when you add Anissa, Darian, Kira, this is a Kira Collier. This is a 8 deep group that I think really can have a much, bring much more to the table than we just had last year. Last year was a good squad.
I know it's about top to bottom contributions, but both Sonia Morris and Lexi Held, all Big East first team last season. What is the anticipation for the next level, the jump, the improvements that they could make coming into this year?
Sarah, again, we did not play well down the stretch last year. So I think that is, it's just uncharacteristic of what our program has done. And so, I think there's a hunger here. There's a hunger to get back on that floor and show that the team that was the real team last year was that 12-2 team in the middle of the year, not the team that didn't really get it done at stretch time or crunch time last year. So I think there's just a real hunger that these players are really working hard every day. Their energy's great every day. It's just great to have them out there working that hard. And I'm really excited about for what our possibilities are. As always, we've got to stay healthy. Hannah Purcell, there's another player here from Minnesota who's kind of lying under the radar, but she's just such a work ethic player. I just love her work ethic every day. And no matter what you say, she just comes out there, rolls up her sleeves and just digs in. And she's just determined to make us put her on the floor. It's just a really good group. I'm excited about coaching this group.
Yeah, we're wishing good health on all teams, all people. Coach Stubbs, your group, you got a couple of weeks of practicing. You're starting to see guys maybe develop and start to understand their roles a little bit more. Who stood out to you with your roster so far in these early parts of the preseason?
All our guys are doing a great job. If I have to say a couple of guys in particular, Javon Freeman Liberty is a guy that's a returning guy that's really a senior. He's a junior by COVID rules, but he's an experienced senior, and he's been very solid. He's been fundamentally sound. He's been providing great leadership. So I'm very happy with Javon. Tyon Grant Foster, a young man that transferred in from the University of Kansas, spent 2 years in junior college prior to that, but he's had a great summer and a great fall. Jalen Terry, a young man that came here from the University of Oregon, who I brought with me, who I had recruited to Oregon, that was there with us for a year, has been very good. And I think a big part of that is Jalen really knows me, kind of knows what we're trying to do from an offensive, defensive standpoint. So he's shown great leadership and helping guys out there on the floor as well. So Nick Agende, a big guy that we have coming back, has been very good. So we've had 4 or 5 guys that have done a great job. And really, overall, our group overall has been working extremely hard and doing a good job this fall.
Who's taken on a lead? Are there certain individuals that you feel like have really taken on a leadership role?
I would say Javon Freeman Liberty has done a great job providing leadership. A young man, Brandon Johnson, a transfer from the University of Minnesota, who averaged 10 and 8 last year in the Big Ten, has been doing very good for us, right? About 6'7" and a half. But, he's been vocal. And again, he's older, he's a more experienced guy. And I think the older guys are more receptive to trying to provide leadership.
We're Coach Stubbs and Coach Bruno going to get into a little bit more with you about the schedule in some of the early parts of the year. But DeWayne, well, first things first, this weekend you get to see, I know you mentioned it, but so much of your introduction to DePaul has been through Zoom and virtually. What will it be like for you here, Family Alumni Weekend, getting a chance to see everyone back on campus and in real life?
I think the one thing I learned early on is being a true partner to campus. You want to be involved in what's going on here in Lincoln Park, along with our Loop campus. And I think the great opportunity, we had Alumni Family Weekend. What could we do to enhance that, take advantage of people that are coming in, coming back to campus? You know, we don't have football here, even though I grew up in the SEC and all that, but this is our homecoming weekend, right? So how do we embrace that and have and be a part of it? So we've got events going on with volleyball, soccer, but also let's add some basketball into it. So we thought, what a great day to interject ourselves into the schedule. And so we're going to have big fan day from 10 to 1. And we're also helping host kind of a Blue Demon bash under the L train tracks behind the Sullivan Center as well, before we have volleyball that night back in McGrath Phillips. So come hang out with us in Lincoln Park. Just a great opportunity to see a lot of people you haven't seen, but get a first look at these great teams and what they're doing, because it's a unique opportunity for both of them. You know, something new. You know, Coach Bruno talked about having most of his team back with some newcomers, but in a whole new place, a full league schedule of 20 games for the first time for both of them, and both at Wintrust Arena. And for Coach Stubbs, his first time through, everything's new with the whole new staff and basically a whole new team. A lot of people, I haven't even seen enough of them myself, so I know that everybody else can't have enough of it. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity to get out. It doesn't even matter if the weather's great, because you're going to be inside. So just have fun, come check us out. Going to have an autograph session with both men and women's team between both practices. And so I think it's a great opportunity to kind of get in touch with your Blue Demons, because you got to figure out really quick who's your favorite players and who you're following all year, because we haven't had a chance to see them in person for a whole year. So this will be exciting. I'm excited about it too.
Absolutely. And then the Tipoff Luncheon, October 26th, right? That'll be taking place.
Yeah, so that's coming up pretty quickly. So that's on Tuesday, the 26th. John Fanta will be coming back into town, sitting down on the couch with these two guys. Yeah, these two guys. I told him he's got to wear that Big East jacket. They got all the logos of all the teams in it. I heard it's a sight to see. But we want to have that. I think it's really, we wanted to have more of a season ticket holder type event. For people that are buying season tickets, for people that are thinking about it and want to hear a little bit more about it, you know, come out and join us at Wintrust and get excited about the season. And I think we want to have more events. We got other events that we're doing specifically for our donors and our new Mikan Society later on, closer to the season. But we're trying to just do more things to engage. And we're having a fan day here in Lincoln Park campus, but then we're going to have our tip-off luncheon on October 26th. You can sign up on that online, and we'll have that out there at Wintrust Arena. And I just think it's a great way to engage with us, our coaches, our staff, to understand we got new energy. We've been cooped up for 18 months and we're ready to just bust out, kick the door down, and the Blue Demons are ready to take over Chicago again. We're ready to become Chicago's team, Chicago's school, and I'm excited. This is what I came here for. The good thing is I'm around successful guys like Coach Stubbs and Coach Bruno that have seen it. They know what excellence is, and I can pick their brains, and we just kind of toss around different thoughts and ideas. And how much fun is that? And so we get a chance to chop it up with you today, and then we get to bring John Fanta back on the 26th to see what that brings to us as well. So got a few exciting things coming up.
I can't hold a candle to John Fanta. Fanta's in a league of his own. We all love him. And I know as you talk about the excitement for that, excitement to have fans back in Wintrust Arena. And I will speak covering the NBA, and after having All-Star Weekend there, and so many of the event players were just raving about the atmosphere, the arena, everything that goes along with it. What can fans expect in November? Doors open up again, getting an opportunity back, being in Wintrust Arena.
Well, one thing, obviously, we haven't even get a chance to experience it with the full schedule, right, last year and being taken away, but we're really dialing into the fan experience. First, we had to start here right at home with our students. You know, how do we get our students more engaged? They haven't even been out to Wintrust in a couple of years. So our freshmen and our sophomores, they haven't been out there yet. So that's why let's get them engaged and get them out there. So we're investing in safe bus transportation to get them from Lincoln Park out to the South Loop at Wintrust Arena, to make that as easy as possible, because that's the lifeblood. We want that crazy fan base, and our kids get out there and celebrate it. We got 2,600 of them on campus here in the dorms, but there's 7,000 right here in Lincoln Park. So even when the schedule turns and we're done with the first quarter, a lot of people still around, and we want to get out there to Wintrust Arena for games. The other thing is that we're running, because of the newness of women's basketball being out at Wintrust, we want to make it affordable, because a lot of people are translating to in the parking. We worked on negotiating those things down because we wanted to be the reason you don't go. It's not going to be because you don't understand. You're not sure what you're supposed to do. You're not sure what the pricing is. We want to make it as easy and simple to choose to go watch DePaul play. And so if you see what the Sky's doing out there and you see people for the first time, I saw people in Wintrust Arena. That's the first time for me. And, we got to support our city. And this is an opportunity to go out there, check us out. We've earned your trust. You've seen what we've done historically from a women's basketball standpoint. You've seen what we've done from a men's basketball standpoint, that we're trying to get back to the glory parts of it. And we're bringing Billy Blue Demon back for a throwback game. I'm just going to tease that up for one of the games later. And I'm definitely going to send you some gear. We're working on some new retro shorts and gear with Billy Blue Demon for the holiday season. So that's something to look out for too. So I'll make sure I'll hold you as well.
Oh, I'm in. I know. Not that I'll need to stay fresh. Wear it around all the time. But we are all so excited. And Coach Stubbs, you get a chance to get some of this home cooking going. Your first 8 games are at Wintrust Arena. Opens November 10th against Coppin State. November 18th is Rutgers. In the Gavin Tipoff game, December 4th, Loyola. Some of the highlights. What will that do for you and just your group having a chance to really get a nice stretch playing at home to start things off?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I've been fortunate to go down to some of the Skies games at Wintrust Arena. Wintrust Arena is just as nice as any arena in the country. They got great acoustics, great seats. There's not a bad seat in the house. So I'm very excited about coaching in Wintrust Arena. Excited for our fans to have the fans back out. But from a conference standpoint, a non-conference standpoint, with having 7 or 8 games at home to start the year, I think it's great for our guys, just to try to build some confidence. And obviously we're going to be challenged, but I think that challenge will only help prepare us for the Big East. But being here, opening up with Coppin State, we're a team that's going to have to take them one game at a time. And that's what I've been preaching to our guys. We can't take anybody lightly. It's just a matter of preparing for that next opponent up. And again, just taking it one game at a time, but just excited about playing at home, being here in Chicago, and trying to build some confidence and camaraderie with this team.
Yeah, we know that Big East schedule is a bear. Kicks off December 20th against Creighton, but concluding that non-conference schedule, you're at Louisville, at UIC, at Northwestern. What, given just the way the schedule lays out, what will that do for you guys in preparation for Big East Conference play to get going, having those 3 road games against those teams?
And got Loyola at home before that. So we got Rutgers at home before that, but we got some tough ones. But again, going to Louisville, which was in the Big East when I was in the Big East back in 2006 at the University of Cincinnati. It'd be a great experience for our guys, a great environment to play in, playing against UIC, a rivalry, playing against a lot of guys that they know that are on that UIC team, playing against Northwestern, a team that Coach Collins is doing a great job with. That's going to win a lot of games this year in the Big Ten. So I think those games will only help prepare us for the Big East. And again, those are the type of games that guys that come to DePaul want to play. You come to DePaul because you want to play the best of the best and be prepared to play the Big East and try to build a resume that hopefully translates to get into the NCAA tournament at some point.
Coach Stubbs, you said it. You were assistant at Cincinnati when they were a member of the Big East. What do you remember about the league back then?
A very tough league. And again, it's changed a little bit. Louisville obviously is no longer in the league. Syracuse is no longer in the league. Notre Dame isn't. But again, there's no nights off in the Big East. You've got to bring it night in and night out. It's a matter where you're playing 20 league games, and you're going to have to compete every night you step out there on that floor. But you're playing in great venues. You're going to great cities to play. And again, if you're in the top half of the Big East, you're going to postseason play. So it's a great opportunity for our guys. You're going to be playing against future NBA players night in and night out. And from a coaching standpoint, when you look down that sideline, you're coaching against guys that can really, really coach, the Hall of Fame coaches. So it's definitely a great challenge. It's going to be a great experience for us and myself as well.
We can't wait. Coach Bruno, we were talking a lot about Wintrust Arena. And DeWayne, is the excitement for you and for the women's team to play. And I know we have continued to watch with the Chicago Sky playing there and the excitement around what they've been able to do. What will it do for your team, recruiting, all things, to be playing all of your games at Wintrust Arena this year? Mute.
Wintrust has just always been a great, it's 5 years old already, and it's just been one of the great basketball venues in America. And, you know, it's unique. It's just been the inside, when you're playing inside, the vibrancy, the enthusiasm. Yes, we want to fill that place. It's got, you know, something else about Wintrust that people don't talk a whole lot about is it's really easy to get to from all parts of Chicago. You can really get to Wintrust from south side, west side, north side very, very easily. The highway drops you right there. But once the games start, yes, we want to fill it. But even when the Wintrust isn't totally filled, you get a great vibe. We're thrilled for the Sky. We're thrilled for our Allie Quigley, our own Allie Quigley, helping the Sky fight for a championship, a WNBA championship here Friday night. You can't get a ticket, but even when the Sky were playing and the place wasn't filled, the vibrancy in the building, it's awesome. And so that's what's the great aspect and part of Wintrust. And it's also a unique architectural building. That sounds crazy, but I mean, it's just got great amenities for the fans. Like Tony said, there's not a bad seat in the house, but the amenities for the fans are just awesome as well. So it's just a great place to play. And I'm excited about playing in one place. You know, I've been telling everybody here at DePaul from the beginning, you know, I love Lincoln Park. I'm old enough to have played in Alumni Hall, coached in Alumni Hall, coached in Sullivan, and I love Alumni Hall. I love Lincoln Park. But at the same time, it was it was not always easy for the players to have to go back and forth. So, you know, I'm excited that we're going to be able to have one place that's going to be our home. And when you bring recruits into Wintrust, you know, they're awed by it. I mean, they tell you this is really a special place. And you bring them out to center court and you're standing there with a recruit at center court with the place empty. And you look up at the banners and you look up, and, you know, it gives you goosebumps just standing there at center court. So I just love playing there. You know, I'm thrilled that the building was built. And like DeWayne says, we got to get the student body down there. We got to get the fans in Chicago energized and back in that place. But when that place is rocking and rolling, it's fantastic. And Sarah, our non-conference schedule is off the charts too. We always play a tough non-conference schedule. My assistants think I'm crazy. You know, Candace Blankston and you were teammates, and Jill Pizzotti is a great, and Lisa Rakebush are great assistants, and they think I'm crazy for who and how we schedule. But, you know, we do have Loyola at Wintrust. We have Northwestern at Wintrust. We have Notre Dame at Wintrust. And yet we're also going on the road and taking on Texas A&M, Kentucky, you know, Texas A&M, Kentucky, Arizona, the defending national runner-ups, Rutgers, Vanderbilt. These are all part of our non-conference schedule. So the non-conference schedule is going to be a monster. And yet that's how we believe, and I've always believed, that you prepare your basketball team. And we might get boxed around a little bit. We might just come through that with flying colors, but no matter how we come through it, we're going to be better for it when we hit the Big East at the turn of the year. So we're excited about everything that's really happening here.
My best friend, Candace, she doesn't think you're crazy at all, Coach Bruno. Candace is all on board with everything, because there's a challenge, because of the preparation that you guys do need to have to get into Big East play. And I know that's been a part of who you are and who you are as a coach, and you're scheduling your non-conference play since I was a player forever. When you think about the Big East play, when you think about some of these teams getting into that, I know it's steps to get there with the non-conference schedule starting. But what excites you about Big East women's basketball and just the competition that exists there?
Well, UConn is the best program ever to have competed in intercollegiate athletic and intercollegiate basketball. People can argue about that if you want, but I'm old enough to have watched Coach Wooden's UCLA teams, so I know what Coach Oriam has put together at UConn, and it is the gold standard, men or women. And you know, DeWayne, I got to wink at you there, DeWayne, because I love your background in Kentucky, and you're talking about Southeastern Conference football. I didn't know football was played in Kentucky. I just thought it was basketball in Kentucky, DeWayne. But at any rate, back to the women's Big East, it starts with UConn, and they're going to challenge. You know, you got to go through them to win a national championship from all parts of the country. So it starts with them. But then the rest of the league, you know, the rest of us we were really competitive. We were getting 3 and 4 teams in the NCAA tournament before UConn ever got here. And so Marquette is going to be strong. St. John, Seton Hall are always strong. Villanova is coming back with a great player, Maddie Sechrist. You know, Creighton is always tough to beat. You know, it's just a top. Tony mentioned it. Coach Stubbs mentioned it's just a great top to bottom league, and it's located in great cities across the country. It is called the Big East, but it's got a great Midwestern flavor to it with our 6 Midwestern schools as well. So it's just a great league, and it's a challenging league, and you know, we're looking forward to teeing it up again and you know, just making it a 3 and 4 and 5 team NCAA tournament league again. Like Tony said, finish in the top half, and we should all be in that NCAA tournament.
Yeah, well, Coach, obviously we're super excited, and we all know that have played, have watched, you know, calling games, all those things, that the DePaul ball, that's something that you say DePaul ball when it comes to how your teams have played. People know how you want to play, get up and down, shoot threes, share the rock, all sorts of just intensity and hard work that we see on the floor. Coach Stubbs, I'm curious, for fans and for DePaul fans that are new to your coaching style, when your team would ideally be playing the way that you envision them to be playing, how would you describe that?
You know, a team that's going to compete night in and night out. You know, Chicago is a blue collar city. And, you know, I want to coach guys that want to lay it on the line every time we step in between those lines. So a team that's going to share the ball, that's going to play together. We're going to get up and down the floor. We really want to push the pace from an offensive standpoint, but at the same time, we want to take great shots. It's, you know, if you have a good shot and your teammate has a great shot, we want to make that extra pass to take a great shot. To really get it turned around, I think we got to defend and rebound. We got to defend at a high level and rebound that basketball. And them are things that can translate on the road as well. You can't control whether that ball goes in on a night in and night out basis, but you can control your effort. You can control your defensive intensity, and you can control boxing out and going and getting that ball. So a team that's going to be fun to watch, again, that's going to compete hard night in and night out and play the right way.
We're thrilled. Like I said, we can't wait for that. A reminder to everyone participating on here that I've been asking a lot of questions to coaches and to DeWayne, but you can ask questions as well. You can just submit them in the chat. In about 5 minutes, we're going to take your questions. So make sure to start putting them in. Coach, you brought up Allie Quigley, and I just think for all of us and how much more exposure and viewership the WNBA is getting, we've all had an opportunity, and we have, particularly in the last couple of years, to see what a special talent she is, what a special human being that we know she is. I sometimes joke, but I hope you know this. I like to take partial credit in her coming to DePaul, since you had me be her host on the visit when she came on her official visit. She's just the absolute best. You're muted. Coach, you're still on mute. But what I want to know, in her story is a tremendous one, playing at DePaul, all of her accomplishments, but then bouncing around overseas, and just the diligence and the persistence she had to then latch on in the league. And now to see what she's doing has been nothing short of extraordinary. You probably have been watching her since she was, who knows, the middle school, junior high. What's it like seeing where she's at and getting a chance to see her at Wintrust performing the way that she is at that stage?
Well, Tony mentioned about, you know, Chicago being a blue collar city, and you know, Allie Quigley exemplifies everything that Chicago stands for. You know, never give up, never quit, roll up your sleeves and go to work. And no matter how the odds are stacked against you, you just keep persevering and keep working. And that's, you know, yes, now she's become an all-star, and yes, you know, she's helping her team fight for the WNBA championship right now. At the same time, it hasn't come easy, and she's really worked and that work ethic and that never give up attitude, it's just inspiring to watch because, you think about this on the men's side. Coach Ray Meyer coached the best player in the first 50 years of men's basketball, George Mikan. He came from Joliet. And now, Allie here is, she's one of the best players we've ever had. And at the same time, she's one of the most representative and professionals we've ever had. Latasha Byers helped Los Angeles Sparks win 2 WNBA championships. And Allie here is helping the Sky fight for a championship. And I just, again, can't say enough about the Sky and Allie. Allie represents the city of Chicago. The Chicago Sky have persevered. Michael Alter and Johnny Rogers as owners, they've persevered and they've put their money behind women's sports without getting a great financial reward just yet. And it's just inspiring to watch. And I'm just thrilled that the city of Chicago, the Chicago media has finally started to figure out here that this is a real squad and a real team, and Allie's right there in the thick of it, in the middle of it. And, we're just doing nothing but pulling for her.
Absolutely. And you've been pulling and pushing for that exposure of women's sports since the beginning. So we all appreciate that from you. Allie was also a stud in high school in volleyball, softball, everything as well. So DeWayne, before we get to, and again, everyone remember to put in your questions in the chat so we can ask some more questions to coaches and DeWayne. DeWayne, give us a little rundown of the fall sports as they head into their postseasons, what we can look for as they close things out.
Yeah, like I talked to you before, is that, volleyball is off to a really good start. I think they play this weekend after the Blue Demon Bash this weekend. And so they're 3-3 in the Big East, home this weekend versus Seton Hall and St. John's. Marie Zidek and what she's done with her staff, mixing in a bunch of young students along with some veterans that are coming back. And I went to watch them play up in Northwestern in kind of the Chicago Classic and saw them come away winning that. I think that really translated right before they got to start in the Big East play to really get going in the right direction. And it was crazy because every match that I saw when they played Loyola was 24-24 every set. And I was like, it could have went either way, but I think them to persevere through that, to really grow up through the season, it got them ready for Big East play. And I think now that they've, we've been road warriors. I think we've only lost to preseason favorite Creighton on the road. I think is maybe the only team we've lost to all year on the road in Big East play. And so I'm anxious to see how they finish this season because being in the top half of the Big East will be getting us back in the right direction. For men and women's soccer, it's totally different. Michelle O'Brien in her first year leading the women's program after Erin Chastain left for Minnesota. A couple transfers coming in. Obviously a very deep roster, but a challenge in front. And what they've done kind of the same thing. They went through a stretch where we lost 6 1-0 games and just couldn't get over that hump to scoring. And as you know, if you watch soccer, you could have dominated every one of them and then something goes in and you lose. But I think once they got over that hump, and Morgan Turner kind of got going, we have an outstanding record, I think, of like 17-1-1 when she scores in her career. And I think she had a hat trick one game and scored 2 of the 3 goals the other game to kind of get us going. And then now they're 3-2 in the Big East. And so to be able to have that kind of start where you lose that many matches early on, 6 of your 7 losses. And I think just getting them going back in the right direction. And so they host Xavier here on campus today. And then men's soccer, what Plotty's done with that team, I think we were picked 10th in the league to start the season. We played the toughest teams in the Big East to start play. We tied Providence, who is number 20 in the nation, who just beat number 1 Georgetown 3-0 last night. We are, one of our 2 losses, both our top 2 losses are the top 2 preseason teams in the league. And we beat UConn for the first time in school history. They're just a dynamic group. We probably got the best keeper in the league, and he's a freshman with Cruz. And yesterday, even though we lost in a rain-soaked event, 0-0 facing a penalty kick, he made an unbelievable save to kind of keep us in it. We ended up losing 1-0 after the rain delay. But I just an exciting brand of soccer, very dynamic crew. And I'm really excited about what the fall sports, because they didn't have a regular fall season last year. They played their seasons kind of in the winter quarter, which was definitely not meant for soccer in winter in Chicago, and volleyball, a shortened season inside. And so for them to quickly get a season started back, get things going again, where everybody's performing above expectations, I see a great second half to the Big East schedule for all three of them.
Yeah, rain delays. That's probably was fresh in your head when you were talking about the indoor sports that we've got on the table here. For all of you, and Coach Stubbs, I'm going to start with you on this. The name, image, and likeness rules. How has that impacted recruiting, at least to this point, for you guys?
You know, I think it's a great opportunity for these young men and young women to be able to use the name, image, and likeness. We're still trying to figure it all out and navigate it all. I'd like to think that we haven't lost a recruit to NIL up to this point. I think everybody's just kind of trying to figure it all out. But again, it's going to change recruiting, I'm sure. And as we get to know more about it, the recruits get to know more about it, I think it will have more of an impact down the road. But at this point, it's a little brand new to everybody, and we're still kind of trying to decipher kind of how it all works. But it's a great opportunity for them.
Coach Bruno, what about for you guys?
You know, same as Stubbs is talking about. You know, we have a couple players actually lined up with some clothing outfits that, I mean, Deja Church has actually signed a contract with a clothing company out of her home state of Michigan, and is actually making some money right now in the name, image, and in her name, image, and likeness. And you know, I'm all for our athletes being able to receive everything that they are possibly able to receive, and I've always been in favor of them being able to receive everything that they're able to receive. So I'm excited for the doors it's going to open. And at the same time, I totally agree with Coach Stubbs about, you know, how it's going to impact from a recruiting perspective. That's going to be interesting to keep our eye on, because, you know, it's just going to be how schools are going to actually be able to create name, image, and likeness opportunities through a blurred place. You know, we got to wait and see how that's all going to, you know, it's got to be straightforward. It's got to be up and legal. And, you know, so I'm just kind of anxiously, like Coach Stubbs, waiting to see how it all plays itself out, because there's just a lot of different angles as to how this can play itself out.
DeWayne, is there anything on your end that stood out?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that, you know, I've been a proponent of this for a long time. You know, being in the deputy chair at Kentucky, one of our partners is Influencer that we use to be able to share content with our students. And that was just really photos, videos, just a way to put them in their hands. If you remember, probably when you were playing, Sarah, we had to cut you a CD to get pictures to your parents because they were hounding you about your pictures you didn't get. So just
Greg Greenwell, who's on the call right now, I think was probably the one doing that. Yes, absolutely.
Right. And so what we try to do is, how do you build brands, right? And so in my time at Kentucky, we were trying to prepare for this day a long time. And we were actually the first client for Influencer back then with Jim Cavall, who was a great friend of mine. And so transitioning to what we did now, with all of a sudden the rule changing so quickly to July 1st without much preparation, we really concentrate on the educational component. We started our legacy program, partnering with the Coleman Entrepreneur Center here on campus, the Driehaus College of Business, along with the College of Communication, to be able to figure out how do we educate our students to use this opportunity to the best of their ability, not make mistakes, take advantage of being the third largest media market in the country. You know, what I tell some of our young people here and prospective student athletes is, you have a chance to be a household name in Chicago, especially if you're a Chicago kid, right? You go to LA, you go to New York, the bigger markets than us. I don't care who you are coming out of high school or college kids, you're not going to be the household name. And I think it's a golden opportunity. What we're hearing from a lot of our businesses in town, some of our supporters, they're really interested in it, and they're anxious to get to know our students. And I think that's why what we're doing is really creating a lot more networking opportunities for them to grow and learn from a business standpoint, teaching them financial literacy, all those things we always wanted to teach them that maybe they didn't care about as much, but now everybody does, because there's some money that comes with it. And I think that's the uniqueness. So we're working with campus to adding an entrepreneurship minor for non-business majors, even starting as early as the winter quarter. So people that are engaged in those things can learn while they're in school versus having to learn what the professional is like once you leave. You know, so imagine the opportunities you would have had while you were a student here. the things you could have learned. And by the time you even got out, you might have already had an Emmy. You know what I mean? So, those are the opportunities we have here. And I think we're going to be on the forefront of what's going on. Obviously, we're going to take the right steps to do it the right way. But we're teaching ultimately education, how to brand yourselves, how to have a strong brand, protect your brand. So that way you are attracted to those businesses and entities to give yourself a chance to grow.
Yeah, I think Coach Stubbs has already easily made his way into as a face of one of the Chicago individuals. I didn't realize, Coach Stubbs, now I'm going to need to see some video. We have someone talking about your pitch, throwing out the first pitch of the White Sox game. I appreciate you were on the South Side. It was asked if you threw a four-seamer or a slider. So I'm curious how this went.
It was a bad pitch. It was a little low. But see, I made a bad mistake. I didn't talk to Coach Bruno before I did.
Yeah.
I should have talked to the veteran about this because he told me how to get it up higher. And I tell you what, I took a couple practice throws in the gym. It was pretty good. But then when I walked out there on that mound in front of those people, I tensed up a little bit and I got it a little low. So next time I'm going to work with Coach Bruno and he'll show me the way.
Coach Bruno, how many first pitches have you thrown out on South Side and North Side?
Sarah, I don't know. I've not counted, but I do know that I was able to throw a pitch at White Sox Park in 2005, almost 50 years to the day that my dad brought me to Sox Park for the first time, Comiskey Park, to watch Ted Williams play.
Wow.
It was like March 5th in 2005, and the Sox went on to win a World Series that year. So that's probably my most memorable, even though, I have grown into being a Cubs fan, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. And so I thrown them both places. But the whole key, Stubbs, is you got to aim for the top of the backstop. You got to aim for the top of the screen, buddy, because if you don't aim for the top of the screen, that thing's going in the ground.
There you go.
Clearly, there'll be many more of those to come. Coach Bruno, have you sung the seventh inning stretch yet?
Yes, I have, Sarah. I've sung it a couple times, and this is a couple times. So it was interesting the first time I got to sing it by myself, and the second time we got to sing it with Coach Purnell here. And I'm not trying to throw Oliver under the bus, but I'm up there with Oliver, and Oliver didn't really do his homework about the words. So, it was one of those situations where I'm sitting there and I'm trying to, how do you, come on, Oliver, we got to get this thing right here, baby. So
we need to get on that. I'm putting Greg Greenwell on a mission to get both of you up there. I want to see it, hopefully when I'm back in Chicago. Coach Stubbs, more seriously, coming into the season, whether it's preseason polls or predictions or different variety of just the expectations from the outside, doesn't necessarily have you guys in the highest regard. Do you use that as motivation for the team? How do you approach that with your group, given the expectations externally coming into a year?
We got to go out there and we got to earn the respect. It's a situation where, unfortunately, DePaul hasn't had great success over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, and nobody's just going to bow down to us and let us move to the top of the Big East. So we've got to do that from a staff standpoint of working with these guys, continuing to get them better. And the bottom line is it's got to result in some wins. So we've got to go out there and work hard night in and night out and earn that respect. And the way you earn that respect is moving up in the Big East. And when you're at the top of the Big East, I think you've earned it at that point. And the situation was very similar to when I was at the University of Oregon and at the University of Cincinnati. They had finished at the bottom of the league prior to us getting the job, and we were picked at the bottom when we got the job. And look at Oregon, we went to a Final Four, we won back-to-back Pac-12 championships 3 times, and we got it where it's respectable now. But that comes with the work that you put in on the floor. So we've got some work to do, and we've got to go out there and earn that respect.
Reminder for everyone on the call that you can purchase men's and women's tickets for the games. Go there today, DePaulBlueDemons.com/tickets. Any final thoughts from the three of you? We so appreciate your time and appreciate you being here. DeWayne, I'm going to start with you. Any final thoughts for the collection of individuals out here?
I think the biggest thing is that this is the time to commit. I know there's a lot of people that love DePaul basketball. I've seen them. I ran into them. I think everybody in the city of Chicago either went to Doug Bruno camp or Ray Meyer camp. I can't run into a person, any adult that hasn't been to one of the camps. And so this is the time. I know you've been wanting this. I'm ready to see our women's basketball program in the second weekend perennially and get to that first Final Four and have a shot at that championship for Coach Bruno and his legacy. I'm ready to get DePaul men's basketball back to where it belongs, and to the point of bringing our alums back and the blue-blooded names that we've had have come through this program. And let's celebrate reunions with teams and getting our alums back in that building and getting our family, our DePaul full basketball family back together. But I think it's going to take some commitment from our fans. I know you've given. I know you've watched games. I know you've stopped going, but you check the score. I know you care. But we need you so bad back in that building at Wintrust. All our other sports feed off of what basketball does too, because that's the thing they want to bring their recruits to, is the basketball games. So we need you. I know it's asking a lot, but just give us a shot. Come out to Wintrust. Come to Lincoln Park this weekend on Saturday from 10 to 1 if you want to get a little look before you go spend your hard-earned money on it. But really, give us a chance out there at Wintrust, because these guys are working their tails off. They got unbelievable student athletes and staffs that are working with them. This is our time. Post-pandemic, DePaul is knocking the door down. So come witness it firsthand.
Coach Stubbs, what about you?
Just to reiterate what DeWayne said, super excited about the opportunity here at DePaul, the excitement in the city, just being here in Chicago in Lincoln Park, and just getting DePaul back to the top. We have an open practice this Saturday from 10 to 11, so we love to have all the alums, fans out to watch practice, for autograph session after practice, and to stay for Coach Bruno and their open practice from 12 to 1. So just looking forward to meeting all the alums, the fans, and just believing in us and getting this program back on track. Just happy to be here.
Coach Bruno?
Sarah, when I started coaching this team, the women's team back in the mid-'70s, I never imagined it was going to be a lifelong venture and passion to get people to watch women play basketball, and it's turned into that. And I just really vision the day where we can create an atmosphere at Wintrust where you look up at the national anthem into every corner and you see the place filled for women's basketball. That's the vision, and that's what we're attempting to do. Your group, all the alums that have come before us have put their blood and guts into achieving this. What the Sky is doing right now is it's creating a concept of sport fan. These aren't women playing, these are athletes. So that the sports fan is talking about the Sky like these are athletes, not women athletes. It's just a joy to watch what the Sky are doing, and we want to take that and turn college basketball here in Chicago into a can't get ticket.
Well, we can't wait for that. We thank all of you for your time, for all of us joining us on this call, kicking off Alumni and Family Weekend. I hope it's a tremendous one. I wish I was not in New York, and I wish I was back in Chicago enjoying it with you. But I said in the beginning, I mean it from my heart. DePaul is family to me. All of you mean the world to me. And so I'm so grateful and thankful for my time there, and for as I developed throughout the course of my professional career, still being able to come back and feel the family atmosphere that exists at DePaul. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for all joining, and everyone have a tremendous weekend and even better start to this 2020-21 basketball season. Good luck, everyone. Take care.